Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Just try and get some things situated here real quick. Some sites, and stuff. What is happening around the world? Wait. 206. Actually, no, the game's on CBS. It went fine. Oh, never mind. Yeah, 206. We'll get we'll start with NFL. We'll do college. I have my poll right here, and then I'm actually gonna start Bill O'Brien. I think I want to talk about that. How you doing, Clemson fan? 1Z Visions. How you guys doing? 30 more seconds. Just try and get my site the scores up for college football real quick, and we have them up. So I'll start right now. How's everyone doing? Mcd Sports4 here. Um, I usually do. I know I wasn't on all this weekend. I usually do a Saturday night live and a Sunday night live, recapping college on Saturday, Sunday the NFL. But and also I do top 25 Monday, and I would have came out with a video with Bill O'Brien getting fired. And that's actually gonna be the first thing we talk about, Bill O'Brien getting fired. But circumstances, as I said, I think I said it a few times on this channel, I kind of bitch and moan about it, but I'm in my final semester at college and at community college, and basically they just like swamping us with homework. So there's been times I've been doing probably 6 hours worth of homework. I just really didn't have time to film anything. So luckily I have time tonight. So we did recapping everything tonight. Uh, Waiting until the Jags get their Lawrence man top 10 offense. I don't think the Jaguars are getting him unless they trade up, because I think the New York teams are the worst. I think the Falcons are a pretty bad team as well. Here 13-3 Packers over the Falcons. He just came out of the 2-minute warning here before halftime. But let me talk about Bill O'Brien real quick. I would say Bill O'Brien. If it was off the wins and losses, he shouldn't be fired, in my opinion. If it's just off this year, if it's off the wins and losses, but if it was about moving DeAndre Hopkins, if it was about maybe the way he ran the team, there's rumors that he lost the locker room after the Ravens game when they lost. I think 33-16 was the final in that one. I can't sit there and blame them if they thought he lost the locker room. I doubt either New York team would jump ship on their QBs, maybe just, but we have they kind of trade up. I'll talk about that in a second. There, but I do think Bill Bryan. I said that for a few years on the channel he should have been fired. As a Tennessee Titans fan, I said we should have given him a life. The Houston Texans should give him a lifetime contract. Didn't. Gave him GM duties. You fire him after 0-4. I don't think the Texans really had a fair shot in the first 3 games. If you were evaluating him off those first 3 games, if it was to wins and losses, I disagree with it. But if it's like other things like the DeAndre Hopkins trade, I'm absolutely okay with it. I think it was the right move. I called for he should have been fired immediately after that DeAndre Hopkins trade, in my opinion. I thought that was a viable offense, trained the best wide receiver in the league. But at the end of the day, I mean, he'll get another opportunity as a head coach. He proved, I mean, he won 3 divisions. Now, granted, the AFC South, you could say, was kind of weak when he went ahead and won those divisions. It might even been 4 divisions. But at the end of the day, I can't disagree with the decision there because it's been a long time coming. Give the McNair family credit, and they have an interim coach now for 12 games, the Houston Texans. So they're going to be lucky if they win. Um, I think they're lucky if they go 5-11, honestly, with an interim coach. So we'll see what happens. But it's Wilmer Cornell, by the way, your interim coach there. But and he had I think he had the interim tag with the Chiefs, and he was the Browns head coach back in the day. But overall, my opinion on it should have happened a long time ago. Good news that you don't waste DeAndre Hopkins years with this guy, but hopefully you guys get a real head coach in there. I know a lot of people are saying the Chiefs offensive coordinator, uh, Eric Bieniemy, I believe his name is. A lot of people throwing his name around. A few other people now getting thrown around is including my Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. So I hope Houston doesn't pry him away. I mean, Houston kind of needs to get payback because we pried Mike Vrabel away, and it's clearly obvious that Mike Vrabel is a better coach than Bill O'Brien. So that's my opinion on that. Let's talk about these games. We'll start off with the Thursday night game. Broncos Jets. Broncos won 37-28. Broncos, in my opinion, good win for them. I mean, Rippon looked better than the guy from I forget the guy's name. I honestly forget Driscoll. He looked better than Driscoll. The Jets, and this game was kind of got heated at the end. Two games got kind of heated at the end. I'll talk about what happened with that other game as well, why it got heated. But this game got heated because the Jets committed a bunch of late game penalties, and when the game was decided, and that's kind of cheap. I thought, and I said, I read something that Adam Gase was going to get fired, and it's clearly obvious he lost the locker room, and I, I I mean, and I was surprised he didn't get fired. I really was. I thought that was going to be the game. But it looks like whoever they face next week, I don't know who they face next week. I can tell you real quick who they face next week. They face the Cardinals at home next week. Maybe after they lose to the Cardinals, maybe I will go ahead and maybe they'll go ahead and do it. But good win for the Broncos. And that's basically my opinion on that game. Jaguars Bengals. Bengals get their first win against of the season against the Jaguars. Joe Burrow's first win. Good win for the Bengals. I picked them to win this game. The Jaguars. I don't think they're a bad team, but their defense I thought pretty bad. And the Bengals are heading in the right direction. They're 1-2-1. I still think they're probably the worst team in the division. Um, but overall, good win for them. They're going to pick off a few games this year, the Bengals. They're not a terrible team. But I actually probably say they're better than the Jaguars right now. So see what happens. But Bengals, good win for them. Browns, Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, despite almost blowing a 41-14 lead, went ahead and got the win 49-38. Good win for the Browns. I did not expect them to win this game. The only bad thing about the Browns was A, the defense let them come back in that game, let the Cowboys come back, and two, they should never wear those uniforms again. Those uniforms look like practice squad uniforms. But they're 3-1 the Cleveland Browns. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know the last time this team was 3-1. I think it was it 2014? They might not have been 3-1 2014, but the Cowboys, my God, this defense is the worst defense in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. Offensively, they're fine. Mike McCarthy, as I said, and you guys might not watch this guy with Carolina. Jack Conway lost a bet to BVD, had dumped milk over his head. That way, clip of him dumping milk over his head. That needs to be what Mike McCarthy does after every Cowboys loss because the Cowboys defense is perfect, the coaching staff is perfect. The only thing going for this team is the offense, and even then, it can only do so much. That was Cowboys offense. So that's my opinion about the Cowboys. And the good news is that they're 1-3, can still win the division in my opinion. Saints Lions. Saints win 35-29. I am not impressed with the Saints at all. Good win for them though on the road. They were up 35-14. Let the Lions get back in that one. Detroit's not a good team. I mean, I think everybody knew that. That was blatantly obvious. But the Saints, in my opinion, I do think could possibly turn it around. But as of right now, I would say they're first round as like more than anything. So go ahead, give me the go ahead. The Saints are probably the second best team in the NFC South, and yeah, that's basically my opinion. Seahawks Dolphins. If you're a Dolphins fan watching this, yes, I do think you got hosed on that spot on 4th and inches. It should have been 4th and inches, but at the same time, it didn't matter in my opinion. I think you guys were losing this one. I thought this game was going to be a bit of a convincing win for the Seahawks. It really wasn't that convincing. The Dolphins played them really tough, so give them credit. But 1-3. You're in division with the Buffalo Bills, that Buffalo Bills team that I think could be the third best team in the AFC. So that's tough, especially when you're not the first or second or third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or probably even the seventh best team in the AFC. Seahawks look like the best team out of the NFC, outside maybe the Packers. We'll see what happens there, but good win for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson did his thing. I mean, they might be the best team in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. Next, Chargers Bucks. The LA Chokers lived up to the name. It was 24-7 Chokers, and they went ahead and blew a 24-7 lead in this one. Um, Tom Brady outside the pick six looked very good. His running back Ronald Jones Jr. is very good. I thought Mike Evans had a very big game, and Herbert looks good. I don't think the Chargers are a bad team. They face I forget who they face next week. They face, I believe. Here, I'll bring it up. Who they face? Give me a second. They face the Saints. They face the Saints on Monday Night Football. That's right. They face the Saints next week. I think that's a winnable game for them. I really do. We'll see what happens, but I'll go ahead and say right now I'm leaning Saints in that game. But good win for the Bucks. I think they're the best team in the NFC South. Um, but good win for the Bucks. Ravens, Redskins. Ravens won 31-17. Ravens just look flat. That's my opinion about them this game. They just look flat. The Redskins not really that good of a team. We overall, and this game's getting chippy in Lambeau, a bit chippy in Lambeau. But overall, the Ravens, I feel like their issue is I think the Chiefs are better than them, and I want to see what the Bills, Pittsburgh, and Titans do against them. I know they face the Titans and Steelers. I don't know exactly. They face the Bills, but I don't think they do actually. But overall, good win. Be a team you are supposed to, taking care of business, but look pretty flat doing it. Panthers Cardinals, big win for the Panthers, 31-21. Cardinals inconsistent team. I said that at the beginning of the season. They're a bit too inconsistent for my liking, and they proved that in this Panthers game yesterday. The Carolina Panthers, I told you, were not a bad team, and they're 2-2 right now. We'll see what they do. I think they have a bunch of winnable games on their schedule. We'll see how this young Panthers team fares. Then, and they're winning these games without Christian McCaffrey, which I think is huge. But overall, I do think that the Panthers. I think personally, I think the Bucks are on their way. I feel like the Saints are probably better than them. So that's the issue with the Panthers. I think they're destined for third place in the division. Cardinals. The good news is that you're in a really tough division, but the bad news is that with that going on, it spells a lot of trouble. Could finish in last place the way they play. So that's my opinion about that. Vikings get the first win against the Texans, 31-23. Good win for the Vikings. Kind of keeps their hopes alive because I think the Bears are going to fall off a lot. And the Vikings, they could come back. Texans, they fired their head coach, so that tells you what they think about their team, the Houston Texans. I spoke about that at the beginning. Um, but overall, good win for the Vikings. Giants, Rams. Rams won 17-9. The main story out of this game was the fight at the end of the game. I'll get to that here in a second. But the Rams and Packers just converted 4 for 2 on a bad defense. But the Rams, I thought, just looked very flat. The Giants, not that good of a team, guys. Probably top two worst teams. Them or the Jets. So that's my opinion. But overall, Rams. I thought they looked flat. Now the fight at the end between Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey. The reason why that fight happened was because Jalen Ramsey, I think, was dating Golden Tate's sister or something, younger sister, and I think he got her pregnant twice, and then just left her. So that's why that fight happened there. Touchdown Packers, by the way. They're about to go up 20-3. Colts Bears. Colts go ahead and beat the Bears. Bears suffer their first loss of the season, 19-11. A bit of a weird game. Listen, the Bears are going to fall off. I had them starting the season 2-7. They're losing. I think I think this is game number one of a 4-game losing streak here for the Bears. They're really, in my opinion, I think they were the most overrated 3-0 team. I think they were the worst 3-0 team, in matter of fact. And the Colts, I don't think the Colts are really that good. But overall, good win for them. We'll see what they do down the road. Bills Raiders. Bills win 30-23. Raiders is another team that the Las Vegas Raiders not really sold on. I'll give them credit for playing the Bills pretty well, but the Bills are just the better team. And overall, it's going to be interesting to see how they do against the Chiefs in 2 weeks on Thursday Night Football. But the Bills go ahead, and the Titans next week. They get the Titans and Chiefs. I think they split those 2 games, the Bills. Hopefully, the split will come with them being the Chiefs and losing to the Titans. But the Bills go ahead and get the win 30-23. And then Sunday Night Football. Listen, I was wrong about this. The Eagles, I think, kind of saved their season with this one, 25-20. And even if they did lose, I mean, 0-3-1, you'll still have a shot. They still have a shot in that division at 0-3-1. Niners, they do not have a backup quarterback on that team. Nick Mullins, I thought, played terrible. And then they bring in C.J. Beathard, and he played well. Which means if they thought Mullins was better, they must not have thought much of in C.J. Beathard, which tells me that they don't have a backup quarterback. They need Jimmy Garoppolo back. That's all I need. That's the main thing I saw from the Niners. Eagles, I still think they're not that good of a team. And I still think 6-10 wins the NFC East, but good win for them on the road. Carson Wentz, I thought he looked okay, but still needs to improve some. And then your Monday Night Football game, number one that ended tonight. Chiefs beat the Patriots 26-10. Patriots, they don't have a backup quarterback either. And they need Cam back. Hopefully, COVID. I don't know what the NFL protocols are necessary. I know their protocols, they just changed them, but I didn't get a chance to read them. But they need Cam back desperately. I mean, this game would have been a bit closer if Cam was playing. I still think the Chiefs would have won this game no matter what, but they need Cam back desperately. I think I had 27-17 if I'm not mistaken. So I think Cam's getting enough for a touchdown, and the Chiefs scored 26. So that's my opinion about the games that already happened. Falcons Packers right now. Packers up 20-3. As I said, this was my lock of the week right here. I said the Packers are going to run them out the building, and they did. How you doing, Raheem? So I'm gonna move over to college football now. I'm not gonna talk about every game per se, but I'm gonna talk about the main points in college football. And we'll start off with Clemson. Clemson, they beat Virginia 41-23. A few things from this game. One, Clemson, clearly the best team in the ACC. Not even close, in my opinion. Two, Virginia is a lot better than what I think people think they are. This team went from I think 65-17 if I'm not mistaken last year in the ACC championship game at neutral site to 41-23. I thought competed okay with Clemson. I mean 24-10 at halftime, 34-17. Yeah, not really in it, but I do think that I don't think Virginia's a bad team. I think they're one of the better teams in the ACC. So that was my 2 points from that game. Texas A&M versus Alabama. I'm going to mostly be talking about A&M this game for this recap. Alabama, good win. 52-24 covers the spread for me. Very nice. Texas A&M. Texas A&M. I always mess up on that. It's like kind of like a slur. They are who I thought they were. And what do you think I mean by that? I think, and listen, I don't like taking locks of the week that are like more than like 12-point favorites. I took them as a lock of the week as like an 18-point favorite. And the reason why I did that is because they are who I thought they were. This offense, I think the A&M offense is just very average. Defensively, they'll run out of gas. I mean, this game, give them credit. Down 14-0 early, come back, tie up at 14. But then when you blink and when you blunk, it was 35-14 at halftime. I mean, they are who I thought they were. They are a top 25 team. They're the same thing as last year, a top 25 team that can't compete with the big boys. That's who Texas A&M is. And until then, um, I'm going to be completely honest with you. You can't take them seriously. You can throw them in your poll all you want, but you cannot take Texas A&M seriously. I think Bama's better than them, clearly. I'll say Georgia, from what I saw from Georgia, is a lot better than them. Um, I, I Florida will go. I think they're better than them. LSU, I think, would beat them. I think Auburn would beat them as well. So overall, Texas A&M, I think they are who I thought they were. A top 20-ish team that can't beat the big boys. Next game, South Carolina, Florida. Florida wins 38-24. Big win for Florida here. South Carolina, South Carolina played okay, but they shot themselves in the foot too much. And you gotta look at Will Muschamp for that. Overall, I do think that South Carolina, I think they're better than Vandy. They play Vandy next week. I think they will beat Vandy. Mizzou, I'm interested to see that game when they play Mizzou. And Arkansas, they play them. And the Mississippi schools, I'm interested in that. And Kentucky as well. So I don't think South Carolina is like the worst team in the SEC, but I don't think they're like a top three worst team per se, but they're kind of close to it. But overall, I thought they competed fine. Florida. Question's going to be with Georgia. Are they gonna beat Georgia or lose to Georgia this year? That's gonna be the big question. They'll beat Texas A&M next week, probably by 2-3 touchdowns. But the big question is gonna be the Georgia game. Speaking about Georgia, and Georgia moved up a lot in the Mcd Sports4 poll. I'll share that after we go over these games. 27-6 over Auburn. Very impressive. I did not expect this from this game. I thought this was going to be a very tight, low-scoring game because I was very concerned about the Georgia offense, and they proved me wrong. Overall, I do think that Georgia, I think they might be the best team in the SEC. I was saying they're not top three. They might be the best team. I will argue Bama. I will obviously argue Bama might be better than them, but they might be the best in the East. They proved to me on Saturday night that they were right where they were last year. Pretty damn good, and we'll see what happens. Auburn, you slip in the poll some. I still think you're one of the better teams in the SEC, but not a good look. I'm talking about any Big 12 game later. Tulsa, they beat UCF. Big upset for Tulsa here. Upset win here. Down 16-0. Came back and won. Twice in a year, 2 years in a row, you guys beat UCF. So big win for Tulsa. UCF. Season's probably over at this point for you guys to get into the college football playoffs. Because I think you can only be undefeated as a group of five to get into the college football playoffs. North Carolina survives against Boston College. Not very much there. I didn't watch the game. Boston College playing a lot better than what I thought they were going to do. So give them credit. Cincinnati didn't cover the spread against South Florida, 28-7. South Florida, give them credit, but I'm kind of disgusted with Cincinnati over that. Mississippi State, they lost to Arkansas. Arkansas doesn't, give Arkansas credit. They played Georgia very tough in the first half, And then they went ahead and went into Stark Vegas and beat Mississippi State. So they might not be the worst team in the SEC at all, I might add. They might actually be better than Vandy. They might be better than South Carolina. So it'll be better than a Missouri. So we'll see what happens. So big win for Arkansas there. Mississippi State, just a little bit of a heads up, they did drop out of the Mcd Sports 4 poll. See, I'm not talking any Big 12 games right now. LSU, they beat Vandy after a disappointing loss to Mississippi State very convincingly. So good win for them. Tennessee, they beat Missouri convincingly 35-12. Good win for them. NC State with the upset against Pitt. Big win for NC State there. Did not see that one coming. They might be a bit better than what I thought they were. Pitt kind of disappointing. Then SMU, they beat Memphis. I expected that. I told you guys take Georgia State -1.5. It was a give me, and I turned out to be right. 49-29 over East Carolina. All three of my upset picks, by the way. Even if you want to include SMU +2 in that, I went 3-0. If you want to include SMU, 4-0. Speaking of my upset pick, Coastal Carolina, they beat Arkansas State very convincing fashion, 52-23. I mean, Coastal Carolina might be the best team in the Sun Belt outside of Louisiana. I think they play Louisiana in the next week or so, so I'm interested in that game for sure. West Virginia, they pull off the upset against Baylor in overtime. One of my other upset picks. Good win for West Virginia at home. Happy to get a pick right there. But Baylor, definitely a downgrade from last year. Liberty, Eli, if you're listening, Liberty beat North Alabama. Good win for them. UAB beat UTSA. Army beat Abilene Christian. Let's see. I'm not talking any Big 12 games because that's a separate segment on this. FAU beat Charlotte 21-17. Virginia Tech beats Duke. Give Duke credit though for coming back in that game though. And that game looked like it was going to be like a complete and then it'll melt down again. But give them credit for coming back, and now I caught some of that in the second half. Ole Miss in overtime beats Kentucky. Lane Kiffin's first win as the Ole Miss head coach. Big win for Ole Miss. They were underdogs in that. I took Kentucky -6. That was definitely wrong there. Back and forth game and a shootout. Yeah, just give Ole Miss a lot of credit there. Florida State survives against Jackson State. This game was they were down at halftime though. Florida State. They got Notre Dame next week. I think it might get ugly. Western Kentucky beats Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee might be the worst team in the conference USA. I'm done hyping them up for any good measure. Air Force and my other upset pick. I took Air Force. I think +7 or +8 was it? Maybe +7.5 for my upset for my third upset. Very convincing win, 40-7 against Navy. So I like that. Georgia Southern, they went ahead and beat UL Monroe 35-30. Southern Miss, they get their first win of the year against North Texas 41-31. So now I want to talk about the Big 12, but before that, I'm going to look at the comments section real quick. FSU is going to beat Notre Dame. Book it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely by I haven't looked at the spread yet. Maybe we'll look at that as well. But I definitely think that's going to be something there. I don't need NFL anymore. So let's talk about the Big 12. I'll start off with and I actually did accidentally talk about one of the Big 12 games, West Virginia being Baylor, but I was happy I got upset pick correct. Let's talk about Kansas State, Texas Tech. The only game that went normal for the Big 12, I would say. 31-21, Kansas State, or maybe one other game went normal. Good win for Kansas State there at home. They are one of the better teams in the Big 12. Texas Tech, I think was expected to lose this game, so not very surprising. Competitive game, but at the end, I think the better team won that one. That's my opinion about that. Other game that went normal, the best team in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, they beat Kansas very convincing fashion, 47-7. Kansas is the worst team in the Big 12. Let's talk about which one should I talk about first? Should I talk about Oklahoma or Texas? We're going to talk about Oklahoma first. Oklahoma loses 37-30 to Iowa State. Now, Iowa State's a decent team. I'm not going to sit here and act like they're not. But there was no excuse for Oklahoma to lose this game in any year. Oklahoma, in my opinion, and I'm absolutely serious. I said the same thing last week when they lost to Kansas State. Lincoln Riley needs to start recruiting defensive talent there if they want to start winning, because no one's taking the Big 12 seriously now. And I agree with Gary Patterson. I'll talk about that comment here in a second. But Oklahoma, I mean, I don't even know the top three. Now, I'll say this about Oklahoma. I don't care what that spread is next week. I am picking Oklahoma to win against Texas this upcoming week because I think they're due for a win, A, and B. I think you're going to see a desperate Oklahoma team at 1-2. Iowa State, great win. I still think that you're not the best team in the Big 12. I still think that Louisiana loss hurt some, despite them being ranked. But overall, big win for Iowa State. And then the other Big 12 game, TCU beats Texas for the seventh time in 9 years. If you're Texas, that is unacceptable. Going 2-7 in the past 9 years against TCU. And Gary Patterson in the comments, I sat there and said, well, he basically said that I think something down the lines of, oh, the Texas and Oklahoma should not terminate with the Big 12 representation. I can't say that word. Reputation. There we go. Reputation is that Texas and Oklahoma shouldn't do that, which I agree with. But at the same time, if you're Texas, you should be going 7-2 against TCU because yeah, Gary Patterson's a good coach. He might find a way to beat you every now and then. But you should not be going 2-7 against TCU. Todd Herman, I think, is in a world of trouble. Honestly, I will be surprised if he keeps his job, especially if they lose to Oklahoma this year. I'll be surprised if he keeps his job because I think Oklahoma State's the best team in the Big 12, and I think they will beat Texas. And I just feel like it's going to be coming to an end for Todd Herman. If not this year, definitely next year. And a lot of colleges, I think, are kind of holding off firing coaches. Texas is one of the only schools that I could sit there definitely sit there and say we have the money to, we have the boosters and shit. So that's why I feel like I am very. That's why if I'm Tom Herman, I'm concerned. Tom Herman should be on the hot seat after this game. So overall, um, that's my opinion on the games for college football. Now I want to share my top 25 real quick with you guys. I'm going to do that in this video as well. Feel sneeze coming on. Hold on. Okay, maybe not, but top 25 college football. Number one, Clemson, and this is the Mcd Sports4 top 25. Number one, Clemson. Number two, Alabama. Number three, Ohio State. Number four, Notre Dame. Number five, Georgia. Number six, Florida. Number seven, Penn State. Number eight, Oregon. Number nine, Wisconsin. Number 10, North Carolina. Number 11, Minnesota. Number 12, Cincinnati. Number 13, Oklahoma State. Number 14, Miami. Number 15, Tennessee. Number 16, BYU. Number 17, LSU. Number 18, Auburn. Number 19, USC. Number 20, Michigan. Number 21, Texas A&M. Number 22, Texas. Number 23, Louisiana. Number 24, Virginia Tech. And number 25, Marshall. Teams that got dropped out. Number 19, Oklahoma. Number 20, Mississippi State. Number 23, UCF. And number 25, Memphis. Teams I just missed. Number 26, Coastal Carolina. They would have been number 26 if it was a top 26. Oklahoma will probably be number 27 if it was a top 27. And then Iowa, Cal, and Boise State were considered for teams in the top 20 in the Mcd Sports4 top 25 for this week. So that's my top 25. That's my basically my analysis right there. Games for next week I am looking forward to. Any top 25 matchup, there's several of them. I'm gonna look at the lines real quick for the top 20 for these top 25 matchups for college football real quick, and I'll tell you my early feelings about those. And then I'm actually gonna call it a night. Packers gonna beat the Falcons. It's 20-3. I think Packers probably score at least another 2 touchdowns. Probably something like 34-10, honestly, in my opinion. Let's see, college football. There we go. Let's see. So I have the lines way in front of me. Clemson's a 14-point favorite at home. I'm interested. That's an interesting spread right there because I think Clemson wins no matter what. But that's interesting. North Carolina -5 against Virginia Tech. I am very interested in that game. Georgia -13 against Tennessee. I feel like Georgia is going to cover that. Oklahoma is a -1.5 point favorite. I will be taking Oklahoma probably with the cover if that spread is still the same. Let's see. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, 24-point underdogs at home. I am interested to see how that happens there. I think Alabama is the best team in the SEC. Arkansas is +16.5. I might take Arkansas +16.5. We'll see. Mizzou +20.5. A&M +6.5. I am definitely taking Florida -6.5. Let's see. TCU -8 against Kansas State. I don't know about that. See other games that might be going on. Let's see. Notre Dame's a 3 touchdown favorite, 21-point favorite against Florida State. I honestly think I might take the -21 right now. And then Coastal Carolina versus Louisiana. Coastal Carolina +7. I do think that I might take Coastal Carolina +7, but Louisiana might still win that game. So kind of the spreads that I'm looking at this week. Big Ten is going to be playing from 2 weeks from I think Saturday is the let's see, 6th is Tuesday, 7th is Wednesday, 8th, 9th, 10th. So 2 weeks from Saturday, the Big Ten kicks off. So we'll see what happens. Um, why do you think what do you think of the Sixers getting Doc Rivers? He'll be out there in 3 or 4 years because Doc Rivers is a overrated coach and should not be in the Hall of Fame. That's my opinion about that. But overall, I would like to see Doc maybe go to more of a rebuilding structure because I thought the Clippers were a good fit for him until Steve Ballmer showed up. But anyways, thanks for watching. Um, that's basically all I really have down. Kind of ran through it quickly, but thanks for watching. Just want to give you my thoughts on these games. Pick video Wednesday for NFL, Thursday for college football. What else? Recaps, of course, Saturday and Sunday, hopefully. And then we'll go from there. But thanks for watching. Any breaking news as well, I'll talk about. Thanks for watching. Mcd the Beast signing off. Go Titans. I think we have a shot against the Bills at least, probably beating them.